It's no surprise that the obesity epidemic is spreading not just in the United States, but also to other countries. Now, Mexico is currently having an issue with obesity. If you compare Mexico City to the United States, Mexico City is actually beating the U.S. when it comes to the rate of obesity. In fact, in 2013, about 70% of adults and 30% of kids were either overweight or obese. Now, one caveat that I want to mention is that they gather these statistics based on BMI, and BMI is not necessarily the correct way of indicating whether or not someone's obese. So keep that in mind. But nonetheless, people are having an issue keeping their weight down. So authorities in Mexico have come up with an interesting solution. They are now giving people free bus passes if they do 10 squats, okay? Which, by the way, 10 squats is nothing. I mean, I think anyone could be able to do 10 squats, but here's the machine that they're using. It has a sensor that can determine whether or not the person has done 10 squats. Once they do it, bloop, they get their bus pass, and basically, they get a little bit of information about how they can eat healthier and keep their weight down. Now, it costs $5.5 billion a year in healthcare costs because of this obesity epidemic in Mexico. So, of course, they want to deal with this and they want a solution. But the question is this the right solution? Max, make your point.
I think this is great. I mean, there's not a single emerging economy right now that's not being crushed under the weight of skyrocketing obesity and type 2 diabetes rates. I think this is great. I think there are other options that they could enact too. For example, the sugar-sweetened drink industry kills 200,000 people per year worldwide. And, you know, I look at things like the graphic image warnings that they put on cigarettes, which, you know, there's evidence that that has worked really well. Why don't we put that, you know, warnings and, you know, pictures of really, you know, morbidly obese people on sodas?
Yeah,
that would do a lot also, you know?
I mean, I think that it would deter some people. What I found interesting is that in the U.S., we now label products on menus with calories, and that's done very little to deter people from actually eating the fatty foods. And by the way, fatty foods aren't necessarily the worst things for you. I mean, there's the question of sugar. That has a much more negative impact on your health than eating fat, for instance. But that's a whole different discussion that I'm sure you'd love to get into.
I'd love to get into that.
Right, I know. Maybe at some point we'll do an interview for your film and we'll get into the nitty-gritty.
That'd be awesome.
Keep an eye out for that. Kim, what about you? Make your point.
All right. 10 squats isn't going to change the world, but I think this is more about starting a different attitude or making a more positive look on exercising in general. So I think it's good. It's not going to solve everything, but it might change your mindset, and that could solve No, it won't.
Well, it starts a conversation. And for a lot of people, maybe this isn't even on their mind. So now all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, this is an issue. Maybe we should start a discussion and see what else we can do. So here's the question for the story, though. What do you do to squeeze exercise into your already busy day, Max?
I'm a big fan of bike share programs. I spend a lot of time in New York, so I'm always biking around, which is amazing. I also like to practice forms of exercise that I can take with me wherever in the world I happen to be. So yoga is one of those things where in any hotel room you can lay down a towel and do yoga.
Yes, that's so true. And also, I mean, go on Pinterest and there are like little boot camp sets, 10 jumping jacks, 100 push-ups, whatever it is. I'm making this up. But I like to do that too if I'm traveling because it's just an easy way to get some exercise in, even if you're not at home. Kim is not buying it. Right, Kim?
Well, I know what you're going to ask me, and my answer is I don't squeeze an exercise when I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I've got stuff to do.
Yeah.
So no, I don't do anything.
When you do have time, what's your preferred method?
I do bar.
Oh, you do bar? I want to try that. I heard it's really good.
It will make you want to die.
Yeah, okay, then I'm not going to try it. I also have no interest in CrossFit. I don't understand people who do CrossFit. Do you do CrossFit?
No, I don't.
Okay, good. Then I won't judge you. Anyway, guys, but tell us what you do for exercise. I like to run. The way that I squeeze it into my schedule is I get less sleep. I wake up at like 5:30 and try to fit in a run before I come to work. I cannot exercise after work. It's impossible. Like, I'm miserable after work. I just want to lay around and do nothing. But it's all about knowing yourself, knowing your own schedule, and making exercise a priority. If you make it a priority and treat it like it's your job, then I guarantee you'll get used to it and it'll become habitual. Anyway, guys, that's all we have for that topic. So if you have any comments or any thoughts, please comment in the section below and tell us what you think. We love hearing from you, and we'll see you soon.